Hey, it's Hannah here, and in this video I'm looking at how you can use targets to help build your confidence when riding your horse. So targets are objects that your horse knows to touch with their nose on cue, and you'll have begun teaching targeting on the ground first. Once it's nice and solid on the ground, then you can start to begin to use it under saddle. And this is a really great way to help give your horse clarity and focus, help to keep them contained and keep both of you confident. When you're working with anxiety, either yours or your horse's, it's really important that you work at the level where you both feel comfortable. And targets are a great way to help keep that contained, to make the lessons easy, and to help both of you feel really confident working together in the exercises that you are working on. So I use targets in all stages of riding right from the start. So this was Freckles when he was first learning to be ridden, so when he was first being backed as a baby. And what you can see is we've worked a lot of the mounting block, which is really important about taking that connection from the ground to the saddle. And then we practice the exercise on the ground first that we're about to ride. So you can see there going from the mounting block to the first target and then to the second target. And practicing on the ground first and then riding is also a really great way to help build yours and your horse's confidence when you're working together under saddle. So here we are coming around again. And again, just asking him to line up. And you're really wanting your horse to stay just as relaxed and connected with you when you mount as he is when you are on the ground. And spending a lot of time, just the two of you, making sure that the mounting piece is really solid is a really key part of that, so that your horse understands to line up, is happy to line up, and is still really connected with you on board, as you can see Freckles is there. So this was the first time he had ever gone forwards with a rider. Now I would recommend that you have somebody on the ground just to help keep it a bit safer, but what you can see here is that he's really tuned in to me, he's really listening, and when I ask him, the target gives him the absolute clear guidance of where to go. All of these things are going to help you to feel really confident and relaxed when you're riding your horse. When they're tuned in, listening and responding well, and the two of you know exactly where you're going, then it really helps to give you that confidence on board. And I know because I've lost my confidence hugely riding through some bad experiences, which I know so many of us have had, and I had to go through a process of rebuilding it. And this is an absolutely fantastic way of doing that in a way that is really fun and keeps you and your horse really working together. So you can see here that I've got a target square up, and I use the target square a lot for riding, for teaching turning cues, for staying connected riding. And it's a great confidence building exercise as well. So even if your horse knows how to be ridden, but the two of you, maybe he naps or disconnects, spooks, you get worried, the target square is a fantastic exercise to use because you can see that it keeps your horse really contained in a small area. And they love their targeting because you'll have done so much on the ground. So they're going to be really keen to go to the target. So if there's any confusion or any anxiety, the two of you are just going to focus on going to a target and you can reward that. So it's a really nice way to help you feel really safe when you're riding your horse. Once your horse is confident, you and your horse are confident working with targets in a small square, then you can absolutely use them for other ridden exercises as well. And again, it's a really nice way to help give that clarity, that focus, that confidence, and to keep you and your horse nice and calm and focused together too. So here I'm teaching Sophie with her horse Lily, and you can see that we've got a target square, but it's much, much bigger. So I've put the targets really spread out along the fence side. Now this is really good because we've been working on getting some forwards motivation from Lily, and the targets are really helpful for that. But as she starts to go forwards, then she disconnects from Sophie a bit. So we're using the targets here to help keep her focused and reconnect as we start to go for longer distances and build up the forwards motivation, start to pick up the pace, that kind of thing. But although the targets are there to give your horse that guidance, you also want to make sure that they're really, really listening to you. So the targets are there as a guide to help you both, but you want to really notice moments when your horse listens to your cues, to your aids, and reward that really highly. So as you start to progress, you'll be moving away from the targets, and you can see that Sophie asked Lily to halt in between the targets and rewarded her for listening to her really nicely before moving on to the next one. And this is where you start to really make sure that your horse is listening to you and isn't just diving to the targets, but it's really about that responsiveness. Now, when your horse is responding really nicely to your cues, is happy to listen, is eager to work with you, of course you're going to feel so much more confident, because it's generally that disconnection, that feeling of that loss of control that makes us really anxious. So here Sophie's mixing up the pattern and making sure that Lily's responding as she asks her to turn to go over the poles. And at those moments when she feels like Lily's just going forwards nicely and is listening to her, maybe she responds to an aid to turn or to stop or to go forwards or to go over a pole. Anytime that Lily responds well, she's going to really reward her and then go back to the targets. This is the same as well as you're starting to build up into trot. So if you feel like as you go forwards, your anxiety comes up or your horse disconnects, you can just keep it really small to begin with, and even just think about trotting as you go towards the target. Again, the target's going to be there to give you the support to go forward. So here, just a couple of steps, and then the target's there. So you're not going to lose control of your horse as they start to go faster. It's going to enable you to start to introduce faster movements while staying really connected. So that's the same as well. This is Freckles again as he was a youngster. Apologies for the winter video, but you only get these moments once. So this was the first time that he'd been ridden over a pole. And you can see I've got a couple of different mounting blocks set up as well. I like to make sure that they're happy to be mounted from fences and gates and stuff like that. And again, really looking for him to be connected. So it's not just that I get on and he dives to the target. Again, I'm asking him to make sure to listen to me, to respond to my cues. But because we both know and Freckles has got a really good, strong history with the target, it's there to give us both that clarity, that guidance, and that confidence as we start something new. And so you can see that again here in this clip. So this is one of our members, Nancy, with her horse Shiraz, and you can see working over again some poles, a little bit of a spooky thing, and she's going to a mat here, which is not a nose target, but it is a kind of target. It's the same principle of riding towards something to help keep that confidence. So this is Freckles a little bit more advanced, but again, using the same techniques. So as I was introducing poles and jumping, faster paces, again, we have that target to go towards. And this is so fantastic to keep you both focusing on going forwards over the jump, but also knowing that your horse is going to stop quietly after it as well, which is really important for confidence. Another area where a lot of people lack confidence is riding in big open spaces or open fields, and the targets can absolutely help here. So this is Rachel working with Heather, and Rachel came off and broke her back a few years ago, and of course has had to work a lot on her confidence, and Heather tends to get a bit excited and disconnect in fields. So here they're using the targets to really help give that guidance. But you can see that Rachel's still also rewarding Heather for when she responds nicely to her cues. Got the added difficulty of the flies as well, but the targets are there to really give them both that focus and confidence to stay connected. So you can keep them really close together to keep it contained at the beginning. And then I'm working with India in the fields as well, and you can just see the base of the target just out of sight there. Again, working up over some little logs in the field. So we started off in walk and gradually over a few sessions built it up until we could both confidently canter over the logs to the target, which is out of sight in that video. And then just for fun, you've got a little few clips here working bridleless. So you can see that I'm using the target square to teach Freckles how to turn and respond to my bridleless cues. Now at this point I've still got his bridle on just in case we get a little bit muddled, but again the targets are just really clear to see how they keep the clarity there so that we both know what we're aiming for. We can work together, especially Freckles helps him really understand my cues, set him up for success, and because of that we feel so much more confident. This is another video from one of our members, Hilda, with her mare Shakira, and again, it's bridleless. Now, it doesn't matter whether you're in tack or not in tack, the principles are all just the same. I just wanted to add these in because they're some lovely training and a bit of fun. But the point is that we're looking for the horse to be calm, to be connected, to stay with us as we mount, and then we're using the targets to give that focus. So often, the anxiety that we feel when we're riding comes because we feel that the horse disconnects. So it's when the horse is getting anxious, when they're napping, when they're running away from something, when they're confused and they're not responding well to our cues. And the targets are there just to give that guidance and that clarity of where to go. They've also got a really strong positive history for your horse, so they're going to really focus on the targets. So if things do get a little bit anxious or confusing, that's where the two of you are going to go. So they're a really great confidence builder. Now, this is another member, Jen, with her horse Reuben, and you can see this is, again, bridleless, but has a progression on this, just like you've seen in the other videos, where she's got the targets further apart, she's working in an open field. Now, with all of these, the targets are there to give you that confidence and that guidance in challenging exercises or new exercises. But once you and your horse know the cues and feel confident and connected, you can start to move away from the targets until you don't need them at all. So these really are a training tool to help you feel clear, calm, and confident as you're working and riding your horse. If you enjoyed that video and would like to find out more about our approach to horse training, then please check out the Connection Training Club, which is our online membership site where you can learn exactly how to do all of these with your horse. So in our CT Club, we've got loads of home study courses. So it starts off with the foundation course, which is where you'll learn how to introduce connection training and how to teach your horse how to target. We've then got loads of courses that use targeting, but if we're looking at the riding, we've got the Starting Your Horse Under Saddle, which really covers a lot of the exercises that you've seen today. So that can be restarting, and this is great if you and your horse feel like you've lost a bit of trust in each other or confidence under saddle, just to go back over some of these lessons and to make sure that when you mount your horse, you're both really calm, confident, and working together. So this covers all sorts of using the targets from the ground, like you've seen, working at the mounting block, how it's so important to keep that connection, working at the mounting block, how to begin riding to a target, how to use the target square, how to use the targets and then lose the target. So like I say, they're just there as a training tool, but then it's how to, once you've got the exercise, you can move away from them. So you can see all of those step by step in that course. We've also got a Riding with Connection course, which shows a lot of these exercises too, and you can see the use of the targets and the jumping and obstacle training as well. You can also get loads of support. We have a fantastic forum with super members from all over the world. You can join us in our monthly Q&As, our monthly challenges. You can chat to Rachel and I directly. You can submit your video for video review. So there's loads of support available in the CT Club when you join. If you want to find out more, then head over to connectiontraining.com. You can find out more about myself and Rachel, and you can sign up there for the CT Club too. You get instant access to all of the material. The first month is half price, and you can cancel at any time. So it's fairly risk-free for you to give it a go and see if it's going to be the right place for you to help progress with your horse training. You can also find out more in our best-selling book. So just head over to Amazon and search for Connection Training. You'll find it there. That gives a really good overview of the philosophy and principles of connection training with loads of practical tips and the groundwork and in the saddle as well. So thanks for watching and see you soon.